It's meal prep day again. Today we're gonna prep healthy and high protein breakfast, lunch, snack, and dinner that will get you over 100 grams of protein per day. We're gonna make a few of my favorite recipes from my new meal prep ebook. The link to the book is in the description box. We're gonna start by making cheesecake pancake bowls for breakfast.
Here is the recipe from my ebook. I'm making the batter in a blender. First I add oats, which are a great source of fiber, and they also add some protein to the recipe. Next I add eggs, and cottage cheese, which is high in protein. If you aren't the biggest fan of cottage cheese, don't worry, you can't really taste it in the ready pancakes. Then I add maple syrup and vanilla extract for sweetness. And lastly, I add some baking powder. Then I just blend until smooth. I pour the batter into 4 greased glass containers. You could also use ramekins. I top each serving with berries. I'm using blueberries and raspberries this time. I push the berries lightly into the batter. I bake them at 350 in Fahrenheit or 180 in Celsius for about 20 to 30 minutes. All ovens are different, so the cooking time might differ. And here are the ready pancake bowls. These are one of my favorite breakfasts to prep, so yummy and much quicker to make compared to prepping regular pancakes on a pan. I store these in the fridge and reheat in the microwave before serving. For the lunch, I'm prepping instant noodle soup jars. For the source of protein, I'm using tofu, but you could also use chicken, for example. I cut the tofu into cubes. Then I chop all the veggies. Broccoli into very thin pieces so that they cook quickly. Then I cook the tofu with some garlic infused olive oil until the tofu is golden brown. I season it with some salt and pepper. Next I mix all the ingredients together for the broth concentrate, garlic infused olive oil, soy sauce, sesame oil, vegetable bouillon, and chili flakes. I divide the broth concentrate to 4 big glass jars. Then I add the cooked tofu, mushrooms, broccoli, bell peppers, and noodles. Use noodles that cook quickly. I'm using shirataki noodles this time. I take the jars to room temperature about 10 minutes before adding the boiling water so that the glass won't break. Then I just stir all the ingredients together and let the jar sit for about 5 minutes. Such a fun and tasty meal. For snack, I'm making mango chia pudding parfaits. First, I make the chia pudding in a big container. I add 8 tablespoons of chia seeds, and then I add high protein Greek yogurt, which gives this chia pudding a super creamy texture. Next, I add some maple syrup and vanilla extract for sweetness. Lastly, I add milk, and then I just stir until combined. I let the chia pudding set in the fridge for 1 hour. The ready chia pudding should be thick and creamy. Before serving, I layer the chia pudding with mango puree into glasses. Lastly, I add homemade granola on top for a crunchy element. This is my favorite way to make chia pudding. The creamy chia pudding tastes so perfect with the refreshing mango and crunchy granola. For dinner, I'm making oven-baked feta pasta. First, I add 2 tablespoons of garlic-infused olive oil into a baking dish. I add the feta to the center. Then I add lots of cherry tomatoes and some fresh basil. If you don't have IBS, you could add some garlic to the baking dish as well for extra flavor. I add 1 more tablespoon of the olive oil on top of the feta. I sprinkle chili flakes on top and I add a pinch of salt and pepper. I bake it at 390 in Fahrenheit, 200 in Celsius for 15 minutes. Meanwhile, I cook some lentil pasta. You could also use chickpea pasta or whole grain pasta. I turn the heat up in the oven to 440 in Fahrenheit, 225 in Celsius, and I cook for 5 minutes more. Then I break the feta and mix everything together. Next, I add the cooked pasta and stir. This pasta is so creamy and delicious. It contains about 30 grams of protein per serving. And here are all the ready meals.
Those were all the meals I meal prepped today. More recipes in the new ebook. It has 80 healthy and high protein meal prep recipes. The link to the book is in the description box. Let me know in the comments what kind of meal prep recipes you would want to see next. I hope you tried the recipes. Enjoy!